There are certain conflicts that are difficult to answer. Like in my mind, hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you're listening. This is the Good Living Podcast. I'm Coke, and this is NYSCeries day 34 or 35, because I hope I've not lost count. Anyway, it's been a good day today. I went to church, they gave me biscuit and water as first timer. I cooked jollof rice there. Who gives it? See, do you know that it's surprising me how we know that the healthcare system makes money from ill health, and yet we still trust them when it comes to nursing us back to life when we encounter ill health. Like, the people who benefit from your sickness are also the ones responsible for making you whole. That's a conflict. And we just trust them to do it like that, just like that. Which has led me to think, so listen to this one. If I was big pharma, like I was the pharmaceutical industry and I was at the head of it, what is one thing that they want? They want patronage, which means they want your money. And if they want your money, they know that you can only get it if you come to buy drugs. That is if you are not well. Ill health. Your ill health is how they get paid. So for someone who has the job of making me whole when I get sick, but makes money because of my need for the medicine, what would be their strategy? My strategy would be to sick in everybody over time. Like, invest the sickness in the food, however you need to plant it, in the food or in the drugs and in stuff. Just plan like 50 years ahead. So do research and make sure you know the things that you can consume as a human being in small doses that will now eventually sick you. You consume in small doses consistently, and then it will eventually sick you in 10, 20, 30, 40 years' time. Know the different ingredients that you can put in the human diet that will sick them in 10 years. Know the one that will sick them in 20 years. And then find a way through marketing, through artists who, I'm not saying will be complicit, but through ads and campaigns and certain type of virtue signaling and messaging, have us imbibe those characteristics, have us ingest those chemicals, and then watch as every decade the results pour in. You have the drugs ready for what you had already planned to infect the people with, and you rake in your millions. If that were me, that would be the option I would go with, because that takes away the sting of guilt that comes with it. If I have to poison this man next door and give him a sickness that he may die from, I'll feel bad about it. But if I'm poisoning a bunch of people that are far away, and as they are eating what I'm giving them, the poison is wrapped in a lot of sweet stuff that they actually like. And what I'm giving them, I am not forcing it on them. And what I'm giving them is not harming them at all in the next few years, which means they can get off of it at any time, and then they might not even get harmed overall. And I'm just trying to sell it to make a living. You see how it sounds? Sounds like sense. Sounds like you can take something off your conscience a bit if you phrase it and frame it like that. But it's still the same thing you're doing. Well, I'm just saying that's a strategy I would use. But what are the things that we eat? Earlier last year, around this time last year, I found myself watching Diary of a CEO a lot, and coincidentally, that podcast was having a lot of health professionals at some point, or they kept recommending those videos to me because those were the ones I was watching back to back. Like, I could do 2 episodes in a day, most times 1 episode, and I would just learn what these people are saying. However, I'm not taking their word to be law, or to say that everybody that came and spoke on that podcast about health was totally correct, because honestly, I've not done my own research, and it is highly unlikely that I will do my own research. But when they talk, supposing one was to trust them, they will say that a bunch of studies were conducted by so person in so year, and this is what they found. How soaps are bad for us, how perfumes are bad for us. I mean, certain parts of it, these are things that it's not as if you pour perfume now and your skin will start becoming red or itching you, but there is something that is a key ingredient in making it be the way it is, but is harmful. So it's like we are giving away bits and pieces of our life to either follow a trend or to identify with a brand, or just to smell nice, or for smoother skin. We sacrifice something, we just chip away a little, maybe 2 weeks off our lifespan in the future because of what we put in our body now, because of the adornment and the effects we get from it right now. It's like a serial smoker risking brain damage and dementia with each pack or with each tie. I have this problem where we'll leave that one. But there are brownies that I ate earlier today. Maybe that explains any incoherencies you might have heard so far. And yeah, they hit. They hit good. I'm about to even sleep, but then I remembered, 22:22. That's the time, 22:22. That is 10:22. And that is the time at this moment. The podcast has recorded for 7 minutes, 32 seconds. Right? But that's what I had to say today. How much can we trust Big Pharma? Or how can we at least trust ourselves? Well, there is alternative medicine. We hardly explore it deep enough. We should explore it. We should explore alternative medicine, the herbal stuff, like deeply. Not when we are sick, but when we are healthy. Because when you are sick or your loved one is sick, you are not exploring it. Now you are desperate looking for a solution. And the first people you meet are those who know how to market themselves, not those who know how to do the job. And those who know how to market themselves are often just after your money. And they are very good at it. That is why they put themselves in front of you first. And you're most likely to go to those people and get your money taken and probably get no results. So the best time to study alternative medicine is when you don't need it. Just check for yourself, peruse randomly. See what they say. See the advice they give. Like, it's so easy these days, especially with TikTok. TikTok is like Google with videos. Google with explanation on how to. Like, it's crazy. So you can actually find alternative medicine on TikTok or even YouTube and learn about it. And if you watch enough of those videos, you might find some similarities when they tell you this thing cures this thing. And you watch 9 videos of alternative medicine or herbal people talking about how herbs work, you might find certain things in common. And it is very likely that the things that you find in common from all these independent people is something true. And that might be the cure to something that you may need in the future, Personally, I think that our use of phones, this technology that we have right now, also is chipping away at our health in the future. There might be a new disease now that will come from, for 15 straight years, he was using the iPhone, or for 25 straight years, he was using the iPhone. We have this culture of looking at our screen every time, and then different diseases will come out of that, like eyes, different kind of eye defects will come as a result of, because nobody in history has ever looked at screens as much as our generation is now, and I think it's something we'll pay for in the future. 10 minutes has reached. I mean, how far. So I think we should be careful. Like moderation in everything, right? Right? Moderation in everything. When it comes to the body and maintaining it, mindset you can change with the world though and stuff like that. But when it comes to maintaining your body, I think we have to stick with the routines of the Neanderthals, the people we evolved from. Their routine involved a lot of exercise. They had to hunt, they had to walk long distances, they had to run. Did I say they have to hunt? Yeah, they have to hunt. They had to fight to defend what they had, both animals and other human beings. Very often as well. And then what did they eat? Animals and plants. No factory to process anything really into something else. No chemicals to use to form additives. No knowledge. No labs for syrups and concentrates. It was just nature's food, fruits, vegetables, and then meat, and then exercise. I think that is the most rudimentary form you can take it to. So if you move around regularly, even in this current world, try to match their work rate. That is why gyms are there now. Before, your lifestyle just had you exercise, but now you have to literally go to a place and put that movement in. And then after you do that, for protection, you can now rely on the government and an organized system, right? That is to protect you and then punish offenders who try to encroach into your space of freedom or whatever. But for your body, you need to still eat what they were eating. Fruits, vegetables, meat. Just that. You can add fish, egg, and these sort of things, So things that you can trace back to the origin. I always say this stuff. Things that you can trace back to the origin. And as I was saying this, I just thought about my lunch today. It was jollof rice with salad and chicken. Now all of that, I've eaten cucumber and I've eaten granite as well. And all of that, I can trace it back to the ground. Not directly, but at least what I'm looking at. If you ask me a question, I can tell you, this is how it comes about. But you cannot really predict pizza or most of these pastries you eat. You cannot take them back to the ground with your knowledge. I don't know, let me explain this properly. Give me a minute. You don't know how it became like that. So you don't know what is added, you don't know what is removed. I know everything in a cucumber. I can trust that the hands it passed did not put anything there. A granule that I buy in a bottle, I know the process. The one that has preservative and stuff, you will see them on the shelf in supermarkets. They have a funny taste and smell. If you eat good raw, freshly harvested granules, how do you enter granules? If you eat good raw, freshly harvested granules on a regular basis, when you eat one from that has been preserved, you can tell the difference. It's like this excess salt and there's this funny chemical smell. So this is something I need to cut out. So every time, so guinea. So those are the things we need to those are the things we need to cut out of our diet. The things that you cannot trace back to its natural state. Simple. And that's what I intend to do. But so far, I just intend to get this podcast up and running and just get myself doing what I love to do. That's just my priority right now, Sha. Which means I'll eat what I have to eat to make that happen. I love you guys. Of course, obviously, we're going to wait till 15 minutes to hit, and that is about 30 seconds away. I'm going to go to bed now. I swear I've been awake for too long. And tomorrow I have to go to the gym. I have to go to police station and funeral home to try and secure that guest for the podcast. That's so funny, but yeah, stuff I have to do. About 15 seconds left. This is an OCD. There's nothing you will tell me because I can literally end this thing right now. I'm just keeping it open. All right. I love you guys. Please follow the WhatsApp channel. Share the WhatsApp channel link as well. You guys share the WhatsApp channel link as well. Let the number increase.